Hey everyone, welcome to Real Talk. Today we are talking about first impressions and if we can really trust them. Personally, I think first impressions can be very misleading. Sometimes we judge people just because of how they look, they talk, or they act. When we first met them, for example, when I started university, I met a guy who was very quiet and serious. At first, I thought he was unfriendly and maybe didn't like talking to people. Whereas after a few days, I started talking to him more, and I realized he actually really funny and friendly. He was just shy at first. We ended up becoming friends. So I think we should give people more than one chance. People can change, and sometimes we just need more time to understand them. We shouldn't judge someone after the only meeting.
Well, I understand Santiago's point, but I think first impressions are usually right. I believe that when we met someone for the first time, we can notice a lot about their personalities from the way they speak, they act, and they treat each other, people. Like for example, when I started university, I met a classmate who seemed very friendly and easygoing. He was smiling, making jokes, and talking to everyone. My first impression was that he was a nice person, and after spending more time with him, I realized that I was right. He was always friendly and helped other people when they needed. I know first impressions are not perfect, but I think our instincts are more important. Most of the time, they help us to understand people and situations so quickly. So I think we should trust our first feeling, but also give ourselves time to be sure. Next to you.
I think first impressions are interesting because we make them really fast. But honestly, I don't think should trust them too much.
Yeah, but I think first impression can tell us a lot. When you meet someone, you can notice their attitude, the way they talk, and how they treat other people.
That's true. But I think people can act differently when they are nervous. Maybe someone looks serious or quiet because they feel uncomfortable, not because they are rude.
Well, I agree with that, but sometimes your first feeling is correct. For example, if someone like is rude to other people, when you first met them, that they can tell you something about their personality.
Yeah, I think we still need to give them another chance. Imagine you met someone having a really bad day. Maybe they are stressed or tired. Don't act like themselves.
That's good point, but I also think our instincts are important. Sometimes you meet someone and immediately you feel that you can trust them. Other times you feel uncomfortable, even if you don't know exactly why.
For sure, I think instincts can help us, but they shouldn't decide everything. We should get to know the person first, and spending more time with them, our opinion can change.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I've also had situations where I thought someone was going to be boring, but after talking to them, they were actually really cool.
Exactly. That's what I mean. We shouldn't judge people too quickly. The same thing happened with places. Maybe you visit a restaurant and it looks boring, but the food can be the atmosphere actually great.
Yeah, that happens, but sometimes they give you like a good feeling immediately, and when you spend more time, you realize your first impression was like right, you know?
So maybe the best thing to do use first impression as a starting point, but not as the final answer.
I like that. I still trust my first impression, but I agree that we should give people and places a second chance always, so they deserve that.
Exactly. First impressions are useful, but people are more complicated than that. What we see in the first few minutes.
Yeah, and I guess the important thing is to stay open mind and not judge someone too fast, you know.
I totally agree. When I think that's a good place to finish today's episode.
Definitely. Thanks for listening to Talk for the Real Talk. We see you next time.